You've probably used ChatGPT to write an email or debug some code. But what if you could take that exact same brain and inject it directly into your code? Today we're breaking down the ChatGPT API. If you're an absolute beginner, think of API like a waiter in a restaurant. You're the customer sitting at a table, and the kitchen is the system with all of the data. You give your order to the waiter, the API, and the API takes your request to the kitchen, waits for the food, and brings it back to your table. It is simply the messenger that lets your software talk to someone else's software. So, ChatGPT API, or more accurately, the OpenAI API, is your waiter to OpenAI's massive servers. Instead of typing into their chat box, you use code to send a prompt to OpenAI, and their servers process it, generate the text, and send that text back to your code. To use API, you need to know two things: endpoints and models. Endpoint is the web address you use to send your requests, usually the chat completions endpoint. The model is the specific brain you want to use. GPT 3.5 Turbo is incredibly fast and cheap, perfect for simple tasks. GPT 4.0 is the powerhouse. It costs more, but it handles complex logic, deep reasoning, and nuance. You choose the model that fits your budget and your project's needs. Here's what the professionals pay attention to: tokens. The API doesn't read words, it reads tokens, which is basically a chunk of characters. A short word might be 1 token, while a complex word might be 3. You pay per token, so you are billed for the amount of tokens that you send in your prompt and the tokens the model generates in its response. Efficient prompting isn't about getting better answers, it's about saving your server tokens. When you send a request, you structure it using roles. The user is the actual prompt, the system is where you give the AI its personality and boundaries. You can tell the system you're an expert at JavaScript, and the assistant role is the AI's previous replies, which you feed back into it so it remembers history. To get started, you log in to the OpenAI developer platform and generate an API key. This key is like your credit card. If someone else gets it, they can basically rack up massive bills on your account. Never put your API key in front and client-side code like plain HTML or React. It must live in a secure backend environment like a Node.js server or stored in a .env file. Let's look at how to actually build this using Node.js. First, install OpenAI package. Initialize it with your API key. In just 3 lines of codes, your server is now authenticated and ready to talk to OpenAI. Now we create an async function to handle the request. We pass in our object with our parameters, we specify our model, and then we pass in our message array using the roles that we mentioned before. The code pauses and waits for a response. The API responds in a JSON object filled with metadata, token stats, and responses. Once you extract the data that you need, you can send it directly to your frontend or save it into your database. The biggest mistake that you make is thinking that the ChatGPT API is only for making chatbots. It's actually really used for data manipulation. You can pipe massive blocks of raw text and ask it to perfectly send formatted JSON for your database. You can build pipelines to summarize news or classify sentiments of user reviews, or build sophisticated retrieval augmented generation agents or RAG agents that search your company's private documents. And that is the ChatGPT API. You secure your key on the backend, structure your messages with roles, manage your token count, and parse JSON responses. The barrier for AI development has never been lower. And understanding this API is the foundation for everything coming next. If you found this useful, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know what you're going to build first. See you in the next one.